Oh, you didn't know? Welcome back to another episode of Long Term Story Wrestling Podcast. Of course, it's me, it's that NICC. And today we got JoJo and Jay. What's going on, fellas?
What's up? All right, guys. Happy Saturday. We are a week out from Wrestlemania, gentlemen. So we are going to actually do a little recap on night one's official matches leading into next weekend. So let's just start off from the top here. We got Jey Uso and Gunther. Good old main event, Jey Uso going for the World Heavyweight Championship. So the build has been quite nice since the past few weeks. We got Jey Uso pretty much coming a little bit more serious as of late after Gunther took out his brother, Jimmy, over the past few weeks. And I would say this has been definitely from something I would say from the time Jay won the Royal Rumble. Clearly a mixed emotion or a mixed crowd of people reacting to him winning that Rumble, and then him actually choosing Gunther because these guys already have a history of kind of running it back a few times, specifically on Monday Night Raws and Saturday Night main events. I think one go around was for the Intercontinental Championship, and then one or two was actually for the World Heavyweight Championship. So this is kind of I believe their fourth meeting between these two, and yeah, guys, they are. I'm assuming they're going to be opening up night one, for that matter. So let's make our rounds. Drop your pick, and give us some reasons why. Who wants to take the lead here?
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay.
Let's go with our main event, Jay.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So this is simple, man. This is easy peasy Japanesey. We all know Gunther's gonna lose. We all know Jay's gonna go over. Mm-hmm. The Yeet Man's gonna go yeet. Give the crowd that happy feeling we assume they're the starting match, and it probably makes sense they're the starting match. The crowd's going to be hype. They get their happy feelings. Everybody's happy. Everybody's eating. The crowd's going to be happy. They did something with this build, like, remember we were talking about how it was stale, right? And we were saying, okay, how do you get more heat on Gunther? And I said, they need to take Jimmy out. And he took Jimmy out, right? But the cool thing about this is the emotions that Jey Uso, like he's really good in storytelling now. He's really good. I can see why he's main event Jey Uso. Ever since the Thunderdome, what is it? Where they were doing the
era?
Yeah,
pandemic era.
Yeah, the pandemic era. That man has stepped up. His promo work, his the way he tells a story with the way he promos, like he feels it. Like all his promos, I would say, have they give you a good why, and it's like it feels like he's not acting. Maybe I'm not an acting coach or anything like that, but the man's selling his whys. The man is selling the builds, right? Went all the way from his rivalry with Roman Reigns all the way to his rivalry now with his Gunther, right? He walked into that last Monday Night Raw, and you could see, like, nah, you better pray. You better go kiss your loved ones, Gunther. I'm getting you. Like, we saw, like, the mean side of him, not the eating side. Like, he showed us a different side. You gotta give the people what they want. What do they want? They want to see Yeet Man. They want to see, like, he's the new Yes, right? With Daniel Bryan's Yes, that Yes movement. This is like the Yeet movement. So, hey, I think the opening match, people are going to get what they want. And Gunther, he makes everybody he wrestles looks good because he's just that special. Gunther's the best. He's one of the best right now. So yeah, what's your take, Nick?
Gunther's gonna win. J-Man's going down. I'm calling it right now.
Ooh,
I'm calling it
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Everybody, because everybody
Okay.
expects Jay to win, and I mean, I could be wrong. That could be the gimme for the night because the buildup is basically showing that Jay's gonna win, and that's what everybody expects. And if Jay was gonna win, for sure, it'll start the night off really good. It'll set the pace for the night. It'll set the tone for all the other matches, which the other matches could feed off of that hype. I think Gunther's gonna win. That's what I think.
He's gonna crush everybody in Allegiant Stadium, huh?
Yep. Yep.
You're gonna-
May
you're
not
gonna
may
get-
may not be as
Okay.
bad as Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker, but
Wait, you're gonna
Gunther's
start the show off with people being sad? Like,
damn,
you-
damn right.
That would be
You
so fucking
You
crazy.
Exactly.
you really want to start the show
Exactly.
sad?
Exactly.
People just gonna start leaving the stadium on night one on the first match.
That's why it's like a kind
That
of
would
like,
be the most ultimate swerve ever, though.
It would. It would.
I don't think
Bro,
so,
hey,
bro. Like
hey.
you're gonna start the show off sad.
No,
You know
no,
what I'm
That
saying?
stadium is gonna be silent.
We
The
already-
rest of the show.
Bro.
We already know Cena's gonna win. We've all thought about that, right? Maybe you guys change your mind.
Oh wait,
right?
let's hold off on the Cena talk. Let's hold off on Cena
that's for
talk.
tomorrow.
I mean,
That's
what
for
I'm saying
tomorrow.
is,
That's
what
for
I'm
the
saying
next
is-
one.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though is that everybody going to be sad when that happens or whatever, right? But you're gonna make them double sad.
I'm just saying.
Nick, kill
Hey,
it.
right, Brett. Hey, I'm just okay. I'm just gonna say this right now that this is not the only ridiculous claim that I'm gonna make within the next two podcasts. I'm telling you guys right now, this is not the only ridiculous claim I'm gonna make, but I'm just putting it out there. I think Gunther's gonna win.
Okay. In 5.
Gunther in 5.
Oh my
Oh, well-
gosh, that would be so devastating.
It would.
And let the people know you're gonna be there, JoJo.
Selfishly, I am going to say this. The only reason why I'm going to say good old Jay is because I want to be in that crowd yeeting with the rest of them.
Yeah.
It is going to be the loudest yeet you will ever hear out of all the yeets he's ever done. So I'm just going to say that solely for that reason. But yeah, I can't see why we would start the show off with Gunther crushing us. Not to say that Gunther is not valid in doing so, or he's able to, but nah, I like on a serious note, I think Jay, you made a good point. Like talking about like the whole evolution of Jey Uso from the Thunderdome era.
Yeah.
Clearly becoming a single superstar and really the trajectory of how he's progressed in his career. Although, yes, he was part of the bloodline and clearly one of the guys in the background, still being in a tag team with his brother. But also, let's just point out, like, with his brother, they clearly eclipsed the record for how many days they held the tag team championship, right? They also were part of the Bloodline faction, being one of the, most dominant factions ever, in WWE history, for that matter, or even pro wrestling. He also had really good bangers against his own cousin, Roman Reigns. He pretty much elevated himself every single time he was featured on a PLE or even on a show, for that matter. The guy has definitely worked his way up. He's been a loyal guy to the company. Clearly, given that whole Royal Rumble win was not something that I would say they would have just gave to him. Granted, there was the other option of having John Cena win. And clearly we know the implications of somebody like John Cena having to win it in his last year. So this would be a huge travesty to see Gunther actually win. Granted, all of that had happened for Jey Uso.
Bro, can you imagine? Can you imagine how pissed Rikishi would be if Jay loses his title match. Can you imagine?
Yo,
He'd go straight to Gorilla and he'd start stink facing Triple H on that chair the whole damn night. Make him
How
suffer.
pissed would Allegiant Stadium be? Like, you're gonna start off the
Dude.
show sad. Like, the first.
Hey,
Let's go.
and Jay,
Let's
and
piss
Jay,
some people off.
you know for damn sure a bunch of your Raider fans are gonna be up in that stadium, and we know how they are.
Yeah.
We
they
don't need
piss
to
'em
get
off.
them aggravated or even angry for that matter. So
Let's piss them
Yeah.
off.
Oh, wait, I do want to say something about Jey Uso. Is that I don't know if I don't remember the exact feud timeline wise, but there was a time that Jey Uso and Roman Reigns were feuding again, right? Maybe it was before Tribal Combat. I think it was that, right? And then he said when the Usos were kind of like they were beefing and they were trying to get back together, the bloodline, and he said, "You know what? We've been grooming you. We've been grooming you, Jey Uso, right? Do you remember that when Roman Reigns said,
Yep.
"We've been
Yep.
grooming you to take over, to be main event Jey, and we can do this together." So it's going full circle. Like Jey Uso actually ran with it. So the man is just he's elevated himself so much from being from a tag team specialist. Because I didn't think I didn't think this was in him because he has only limited move set, right? In a tag team, he's great. But on a single thing, he was always taking L's. And now he's elevated himself because of how he tells a story. Even at Sami Zayn, he has to choose between his brother and Sami Zayn. People were involved in that. This guy's been so many good storylines. And he's always stepped up. Like his build to his last WrestleMania match, the match itself didn't go well. It was Jimmy and Jay, right? But the build for it was awesome. Like put a mic on this guy's hand, and he does really well, man. I mean, I'm really happy for Jey Uso, and I think his WrestleMania moment's gonna come. He used to be in catering all the time, but now look at him. He's what is it? Not main event Jey Uso, but
He's mid-event Jey Uso.
No, it's
starting match.
Show main event.
Yeah, starting match.
Pre-event Jey Uso.
Pre-event.
Pre-event Jey Uso.
Yeah, but he give the people what they want. Don't swerve us, WWE. Give the people what they want.
Not like this. Well, following that match, I'm gonna assume like the way I'm reading this order is probably gonna be the next match, but nonetheless, we're also gonna have on night one the feud between Jade Cargill and Naomi, clearly from the SmackDown brand. A lot of this kind of culminating from the time when Jade and Bianca were tag team champions, and of course we saw Jade getting attacked, being out of action for a while, and then here comes in Naomi to take her place and be the partner of Bianca's as women's tag team champions. And clearly, a few months down the road, Jade returns. We see her kind of interjecting herself into the Elimination Chamber match and taking out Naomi. And that was just like the start of like this specific thing between those two on TV. Guys, like I would say, like leading up, this didn't really have that much intrigue based on the fact that this was so, I guess the way it was kind of put together, it was kind of late in the game, I would say. And at the same time, with the short time frame they've been given, I'll honestly say these ladies have really done very well building the actual hype behind their feud. Thoughts on this, and obviously your guys' picks.
You know what? You're right. They have done a really good job within the short time that they were given to actually like put this thing together. They've done an extremely good job. And I want to say for the first time, I don't think I've ever been that really interested in Naomi until now. I like her current character. I like her current evolution. I think it's good. Her being a heel is what she needed. She wasn't really that good as a face. It was too. I felt like she wasn't being genuine when she was being a face. She may have been, but it's just it wasn't jiving. I like her as a heel. I think she's really good as a heel. And I'm excited to see what happens with this match. I'm going to assume that Bianca Belair is going to have something to do with this match.
Okay.
I think Naomi's going over. I think Naomi's going to win.
Okay.
I disagree with both of you guys, man. Both of y'all.
I didn't even pick yet.
Oh, well, I still
Why do you
disagree.
disagree with me? Damn.
Bro, he's man event Jay Soul, bro. He knows, bro.
That's fucking Raider talk. That's what it is.
I think this build is rushed. They have such a good story to tell about this. So this is probably not the final chapter. It's only the beginning because it feels so rushed. You know, you have these vignettes, and the vignettes are kind of cool, but there's so much more story to tell on this. So I feel they've done a disservice to these two ladies with this build because it was hot when we first revealed, like, I did it for The Rock, you know, with Naomi when she said, I pushed her, right? And it kind of fizzled, and then, you know, it kind of fizzled for me over there. There wasn't really a lot of emphasis on this feud. The vignette that they showed, though, last SmackDown, oh, that was kind of cool. That was some good production. But Jade Cargill win. No, I can't. No, actually, you're right. I'm agree with you with Naomi winning, going over, but Jade Cargill with the better outfit. And Naomi, what are you doing with this Owen Hart Nation of Domination look? I don't like this look. Oh,
I'm actually kind of digging it, bro. I'm not
man,
gonna lie.
look
I'm
at
actually
that
kind of
Owen.
digging it.
Owen Hart is rolling around in his grave right now, man. He does not like that too. But in all seriousness,
For some reason, I thought Owen Hart had was it not danger versus caution?
Yeah, I think.
Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right. It was
similar
danger.
to me. It looks
Was
similar
that-
to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, anyways.
But Naomi, I will agree with you because they have to start the feud. This can't be just it, right? Like, and we all know Bianca Belair is gonna get involved somehow because I feel like these two are gonna cost Bianca Belair. Well, I'll get into that match later. These two, I feel like they need more time. Let it cook. Let it marinate some more. You know. So the start of the feud should do well with Naomi going over, or then Jade Cargill getting hers eventually.
So interesting thing is, I think talking about how things could happen after this is very possible. I don't see the end of it. I just think it is clearly the beginning of this actual feud because there is the huge component of Belair being involved, which I don't see that really actually happening anytime this Mania. Now that I see that these two are on night one, I think it actually might carry out and leading towards SummerSlam for that matter, where we can actually finally reveal that Bianca was actually the assailant or the head of like the whole plan of putting Jade out. That's just what I was saying from a few episodes back. But nonetheless, between these two ladies specifically, I think seeing Naomi evolve into a very interesting heel for that matter, where she's really doing great promos, I would say. At the same time, Jade, I think with her short time being in the WWE, also having her career prior to WWE in AEW, she hasn't been the most polished wrestler, but she can actually do some pretty decent promos. Her vignettes are, I would say eye-catching, if anything. So I'll give her credit there. Now, this is going to probably be one of her true tests being on the stage of WrestleMania. Granted, her first ever WrestleMania was with Bianca, and she also, if I'm not mistaken, they were against Damage Control, so it was a tag team match, right? This being now like a singles match, this is going to have, you're really going to have to carry your own weight, right? And this is going to be a true test for her. In terms of this story specifically, or this match, who I got going over, I actually wouldn't be surprised seeing Jade going over. that's probably going to lead into her being my pick, only because if Naomi won, great. That it makes sense to me. Like I wouldn't be mad at that. But I think for the fact that Jade having to be the kind of like the new girl here, put her over on Mania. It doesn't hurt that, it doesn't hurt that situation either, because at the same time, this doesn't make the feud feel like it should end with Naomi, because Naomi wouldn't be happy with losing to Jade at Mania. This would actually make her more angry to the fact that she lost on a big stage like that to Jade, and giving her even more reason to continue this feud. Move that forward, and carry it out to SummerSlam.
You know what? That it's when you put it like that, and that's why I love this podcast, right? Like our how we talk, our little our banters and everything, is because we don't get everything from just one point of view. We see everything from all different angles. You know what I mean? We all have different points of view of it, and when you put it like that, it makes a lot of sense. Like why blow the whole load in one night when you could stretch it out over a couple of months, which is great for the storytelling part, right? So I mean, when you put it in that kind of context, actually, you know what, having Jade goes over makes a lot of sense.
And I'm going to say this too, right? There is, like, it's funny how you say this whole thing about perspective. The fact that Jay just mentioned how this should be carried out further, and this is just kind of the beginning, really made me think about this, right? Like, yeah, Naomi could win. I'm not mad at that. But if we're going to push this out, the one person that really started all this was Naomi, right? She was the one that got a little jealous.
Yep.
So why would she be okay with taking an L at Mania and then this feud just kind of dying out?
Yeah, it kind of fizzles out after that.
It wouldn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Naomi, I know you know me. You're going over. Don't listen to these two. Don't listen to these two. You're going over, Naomi. With all your caution tape. You're warning all these people, too. You got the caution tape and all this stuff. You know, even though that Vignette still showed that the glow was fading, you're going to be a star in this one. By the way, guys, is this the first time that Naomi has been a heel?
No.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been a heel. She's remember that group that she was with?
Bad. Bad.
Her Tamina and Sasha. Yeah.
It was a long time ago. Yes. Okay. But she's been face for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. And if anything, like this version of her being a heel it feels a lot more serious too.
Yeah, it feels a lot more polished. You know what I mean, compared to what she was before.
Yeah,
she's really having to stand on her own 2 feet, and I think Naomi's been in the game long enough. She kind of knows who she is, and she's really come into her own as far as her character. I'm honestly just kind of glad she's a heel now. She fits so much better with how she currently is as a heel than as a face. I feel like her being a face was too generic. It felt generic to me. I'll be honest. Yeah,
she got an umbrella because the storm is coming, and she prepared. You know, she got food rations. She's under shelter. She got umbrellas. She going over, bro.
She's going over.
That umbrella ain't gonna protect you from some lightning and thunder, bro. That shit's not gonna shield you from any of that shit.
If you're starting the feud, right? And who's the antagonist of all this, right? It's her pushing Jade, right? So unless Bianca, some sort of twist happens with Bianca, which you guys are saying, like the main goal here is to be able to get your revenge on Naomi. So we kind of prolong it and we kind of say, hey, you're gonna get your revenge later, but in Mania you're taking an L.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, following that, we assume that there will be this match here, the tag team match between the War Raiders and New Day. And if I'm not mistaken, this is for the
tag team
championship, right? So yeah, this was kind of just put together like this past week, if I'm not mistaken. New Day and War Raiders have kind of been like tussling between each other, including New Day in a few months back, turning heel. I know, oddly enough, we haven't really been talking about the New Day on our podcast since then. I'll be honest too. The like I think this kind of ties into the whole reason why I don't feel like as engaged with the whole tag team divisions, because there's just a lot of inconsistency and nothing that really just hits me with this division in the on the main roster for that matter. But I hate to diminish these tag teams for that matter. Like the New Day. What's not to say about them? The War Raiders, clearly the current champions, very well established, not just in WWE but also outside of WWE. Crazy enough, they're going through so many damn name changes. It's insane. Like they're back to what we know them as, War Raiders, right? But the New Day being like a new persona of being heels for that matter, without Big E. The time they actually turned heel was because they kind of turned their backs on Big E. But yeah, tag team championship match on night one here. Who you guys got? War Raiders, New Day.
Okay, this is the annoying thing, right? Is that when the New Day turned heel, man, that was a big deal. We got people talking, right? The follow up with actually the follow up was that they were getting booed so much. So that's wonderful. Like they got so much heat for turning on Big E, right? And they just couldn't capitalize because they got stuck at bad storytelling. Look, we all know if you put the New Day in some sort of program, they're gonna shine. They know how to work the mic. The crowd, and they know, like, okay, the crowd's gonna boo us. We're getting like Dom heat, like Dominic Mysterio kind of boos, right? It was deafening. They didn't capitalize on this, and now like we're doing a War Raiders versus New Day, which should be a bigger deal because the War Raiders, they had those vignettes, they have this new gimmick, like they have a new look. They're kind of like it's kind of like how Undertaker became the American badass. These guys are like looking like the Viking badass now. So they kind of, but who have they faced? They haven't been really been promoted. They haven't, it's like they're absentee champions because there's so many other feuds happening. What I don't get is why is this match featured and not the DIY, the Street Profits, uh, the what is those Pretty Deadly? Those are the SmackDown has been really actually pushing that feud in our faces, right? They've been getting TV time. These two, they haven't really been getting a lot of TV time. Why have them on the WrestleMania card and not that gauntlet match that I thought was going to happen with the Street Profits, DIY, and all those guys, right? With those four teams feuding,
Right.
you would have thought that would have been the tag match, but they put the War Raiders, New Day, they're coming in. It's not their fault. It's just they can't get a lot of time. They're coming in this kind of like they're kind of cold. So you want the fans to be interested. They're just interested because of the names. The New Day is there. You got some War Raider fans. I mean, the War Raiders, like I said, absentee champions. So who do I pick here? It's probably going to be the New Day because you can't waste their heel turn, right? So, but the sad part is the War Raiders just did a gimmick change, and you kind of wasted their gimmick change. They didn't get to like
Yeah.
defend it. Like it's kind of these two tag teams deserve better, but they're working with what they got. I'm happy they're going to get paid. I'm happy they're in the card. But to be honest, and again, no offense to, with all due respect, and disrespect's coming after you say that, right? So, this is not the tag match that should be shown. It should be DIY. It should be Street Profits. It should be Pretty Deadly. Those are tag matches that you have been promoting, not these guys. They've just been absentees. So, New Day, just because they turned heel, they don't want to waste that gimmick. But I still believe that they will have a good match because these guys are professionals. I mean, they're New Day just knows how to work. One of the greatest tag teams ever. And the War Raiders, we've all seen them do their thing. I mean, he's a beast. He does amazing things for a big man.
He does. He does. And I'm gonna kind of go with the same sentiment as you, Jay. I think New Day is gonna win. I've talked about this in the past before on previous episodes of our podcast. How the women's matches tend to be the bathroom break matches. This is probably going to be it for me. I'm not going to lie. I'm not excited. I'm not excited for it. I'm just not. I would have, like you said, you would have thought that the whole Street Profits, and the other three teams would have been the tag team title match, and all four teams going at it. I think would have been a great match. You know what I mean? Because they have this huge story going with them. How they did that whiteboard where this team is going after that team, and they had that whole explanation like, why are you gonna waste that and like not show it on Mania? Like that should have been the match. Yeah, and the whole War Raiders and New Day. Yeah, you're right. It is going kind of cold because I have no vested interest in this match at all. I'll be honest. I have no vested interest. Yeah, it literally just felt like it was slapped together and put on the card. Like I have no vested interest in it. When it comes to the New Day, we do know that they know how to work the mic, how to work the crowd, and everything. I don't know if their current heel run is because they weren't able to capitalize, if creative isn't working for them, or if it's because of the tag team division is kind of dry. Like there's nothing for them to really latch onto and really like have a really good promo. Because like we're back in the day, you had the three big teams, right? The Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys.
Yes.
And regardless of who was working, it's just they had teams
And the APA.
to latch up. Right, APA. You had the New Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. There were so many relevant tag teams, and regardless of who was going up against each other, even if they were fighting against a no-name tag team, two guys just slapped together. It's just they had stuff to latch onto. It's just the current state of the tag team division, especially on Raw, is really, really dry. So it's just I don't know if it's just a combination of everything that the New Day's current heel run is not really sticking. It's not really providing any kind of entertainment for me. I'll be honest, I kind of tune out when they're on TV. I don't know. I'll watch it. It is what it is, but I think New Day's gonna win too.
Hey, if you gotta go shishi, you gotta go shishi, right?
Yeah, I gotta go shishi, bro.
There's a bit of time.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna refill my plate. You know what I mean? So I can be eating while I'm watching.
oh my gosh. Yeah, it's again, I'm not gonna be a broken record here. I said my piece about the tag team division. So hey, if I'm gonna pick somebody, I'm gonna have to go with the New Day as well, just because I think there's just reasons for them to probably like them being the heel team, make it relevant, make it seem like interesting. I'll be honest, anytime you see a heel have a belt, it's always interesting. It's going to be interesting, right? And then we can also say that we can't wait for that one moment where whoever it is going to be to take that belt away from them. So, still be it. I think that's what's going to happen. New Day, comes out of Mania with the tag team champs, and I don't know if they're gonna break the record or like I don't even know how many times they've won the titles already at this point. But hey, this is just gonna be another title reign for them, in my opinion. But are you just saying hi, or you want to say something, Jay?
No, there was that. There was something.
You were like,
There was a dust smuggling. My bad, dude. So it's dusty.
I was like, I was like, oh, you want to speak on more of this?
No. What's said is said, man. It's kind of frustrating.
All right. Well, let's not get more frustrated here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this match here. It's funny because as short of a time frame that this match was made, I am actually intrigued with this one. We got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. So, like this character El Grande Americano, clearly,
I wonder who he is.
Well, I'll take a guess. It's probably the guy that leads that whole what is that? I keep getting their names for mixed up too now. Alpha Academy, American Made. Is it
American
American Made?
made.
Yeah, okay,
American
American
made.
Made.
No
Right. So
tariffs in
yeah,
American made.
yeah. God dang. That's gonna frustrate me even more just thinking about that shit. But anyways, yeah, El Grande Americano. Clearly, the American luchador, right? We got the masked Chad Gable. As much as he's going to deny it, I think this character has been great on television for one thing. Clearly, Chad Gable, probably one of the black horses of the WWE, seems to. You know what? I'm going to say this. Who he kind of reminds me of? Kind of like this era's version of Chris Jericho. Interesting enough because to me he's good as a baby face. He's good as a I think he's been really good as a heel, to be honest with you. He can pull off this comedic act with a little bit of a heelish twist to it, and it feels good. It feels good watching it on TV. Like him portraying himself as this luchador has been awesome too. It's almost like it kind of annoys you at the same time. It's just like I like it though. It's like a good annoyance, like I don't care for like him ripping off other luchadors' mask, but
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
like there's just a little bit of purist in me to like not necessarily having to do that on television. It just feels weird, but yeah, like seeing him do it, I don't know why I was okay with it. Just because like it just kind of gets him more over as a heel too. It's like yeah, it's comedic, but don't forget I'm still the bad guy, and I think for the type of work Gable has been putting on WWE television as of late has been like nothing short of great. And he's going to be able to have a great, I would say, a great match here at Mania with one of the living legends, Rey Mysterio. Clearly, Styles, the better
The
Ray,
better Ray.
a legendary Ray. Like they got styles that will definitely mesh here. And guys, before I even throw my pick out there, what your thoughts?
This is a tough one. I'll be honest. Like, I'm interested. I'm really interested in this match too. I think this is going to be a really good match. We know Ray can put out, and we know Gable can put. But they both can put on really good matches. I'm not saying Gable's the one under the mask. You know what I mean? Because obviously, El Grande Americano was getting taken away that one time, and Chad Gable was right there. So I'm just saying, it's not him.
Jeez.
But I don't know. I'll be honest. Like I really don't know who. I don't know who to pick for this one because Ray has been taking L's, bro. I mean, he's been taking a lot of L's recently, and I know he's kind of in that stage where he's really trying to boost up the younger talent. You can see because he's really working within his niche right now. The whole LWO plus, you know what I mean, trying to boost up American Made and all that stuff. I'm gonna go with Chad Gable. I think Chad Gable's gonna win.
I got a huge problem with that pick. First of all, Chad Gable's not in this match.
You're right.
You
You're
know
right.
what?
El Grande Americano is
Yeah.
gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Thank
My
you.
bad.
Okay, but
My
I'm just
bad.
saying, like,
My
well,
bad.
I don't know why we keep
With the
talking
help
about.
of Gabe, he's going to get the help of Chad Gable.
Yes.
I don't know why we keep talking about this Chad Gable.
Exactly.
He's not even in the match. So
They're not related, right?
yeah.
No,
So
not
let
at
me.
all.
I
Not
will
at
say
all.
this
Related.
about, while we're talking about Chad Gable and has nothing related to Americana Grande, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a. He
I
kind of
feel like
sounds
drinking coffee now every time
Yeah,
I
That's what
drink
I'm
it's
this.
a
saying.
Starbucks
It
drink. That
sounds like a Starbucks. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
It's not.
Starbucks.
It's not American. It's not Mexican. It's
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
Italian.
Starbucks drink,
It sounds
right?
Italian.
So
Oh god.
while we're talking about Chad Gable, since I'll switch the subject from Americano to Chad Gable. Chad Gable has been like he's all over the place, and it's good for him because he shows a lot of range. So yes, I do agree. He has a Chris Jericho in him. I do see a Kurt Angle in him. I do even see a KO in him. So um, he just does everything. It's cool. I like that. The problem with this is okay. They stick him with this. what is it? American Alpha story. They never have a finish. Then they stick them with the Wyatt Six. They don't have a finish. Now he's making American Made. They don't have a finish. And then like he disappears. And then all of a sudden Americana Grande comes out. Right? So like this is not gonna have another finish. So I will pick this is an easy pick for me. Ray goes over. Why? At the end of the day, WWE will not disrespect luchadors and have the wannabe luchador go over. It's going to be like I just think like they won't do that. Like story wise, yeah, it might create a pop, but I think Ray goes over. Americana Grande goes back to I don't even know what country he's from. He could be from Italy, he could be from Mexico. We don't know. He's gonna go back to going to whatever he's going to go back to.
It's a different era, bro.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm just
different
saying,
era.
right?
WWE is mad disrespectful nowadays,
I'm
bro.
gonna be like the man. My pick is gonna be they will respect the luchadors. They will have the better Ray go over.
Hey, Starbucks Grande, El Grande Americano, Ariana Grande, Ray and 3.
Ray and three. Ray and 3.
That's like
Oh shit. Yes, we definitely on one tonight.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh man. All right, next match.
Wait, Jojo, did you say your pick?
Ray and 3.
Oh, okay.
So the next match that we got on this list, SmackDown, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is Jacob Fatu's very first, I guess, championship type of match. Outside, actually, he won the tag team championship once, right?
yes.
Yeah, they were tag champs. All right, I'm sorry.
Well, he
But,
didn't win
I
it
guess-
though, right? Wasn't it with didn't
I think
Tama
it was-
and
yeah, I think it was with
Tangaloa?
Tama.
No, but then didn't Tangaloa like he went
Tangaloa
out,
was
so
hurt. Yeah,
so
he
Jacob
subbed in.
just took it, so he didn't actually
Something
win
like
it.
that.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah,
think the
yeah.
actual match, Tangaloa was hurt. Like he was hurt before the match, and Jacob Fatu came in,
Stepped in.
and
Okay.
stepped in,
Okay,
and,
okay.
and he won it
Got
with
it.
Tama.
Got
But
it.
since we're picking here, I'm gonna go
But-
first because you know what, Jacob, you know me, man. I've been yada I mean. On our group text, I've been posting this guy. I've been posting this guy. I've been posting this guy right before he came out. When this guy coming out? When this guy coming out? Man, this guy is dope as hell.
Hey,
So I've been
who told you about this guy? Who told you about this guy?
Americano Grande. So I've seen the range he has, and remember Jim Cornette even said that if he was to come out of retirement, he would be managing Jacob Fatu. That's how much people like this guy, right? I mean, people outside in the business like Jacob Fatu. He can promo, he's presented, he's protected well, but all that aside, WWE has been booking him strong, looking like a world beater. LA Knight. Yeah. Why? Solo. Solo gonna get involved, man. We're gonna get some solo involvement. He ain't gonna let this man shine. And we are going to have a Solo versus Jacob Fatu feud. That's what's gonna happen. Solo Fatu cost him the belt, and I don't know if it's gonna be a disqualification because I'm not sure they want to give a pin victory to LA Knight, but it might be a disqualification, something of a no contest, which will probably be the lamest finish in WWE. This might be this might be the lamest finish if they do a no contest, but I get why they're going to do it because they're probably going to have Jacob Fatu fight Solo. Or, man, you know, this can go so many ways. I'm flipping and flopping here. You know what? Jacob Fatu wins and then Solo feud after. There you go.
You know what? That's exactly what I was gonna say. Jacob Fatu is gonna win, and then Solo's gonna get jealous in the long run, build up a match, and then they'll have a championship match for that or whatever. But you know what, Jay? I'm glad that you picked Jacob Fatu because, brother, you need to get in where you fit in. Because Jacob Fatu would have won this with or without you.
Hey,
You
man,
mean?
don't get hey, you can get your hair all braided, but don't get it twisted, man.
Don't
All
get it
gas, no
twisted, bro.
break.
All gas, no brakes, baby.
Ooh.
You mean?
Damn. What y'all been doing? Like reading his lines or shit? Like, what, you guys texting each other and shit?
Hey,
That
you
guy's
better
on
mark
it,
out.
bro.
Hey, you better mark out when he comes out. I better see a picture of you marking out or a video of you marking out when this man comes out.
Better get so a picture with me and him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, you need to do
yeah.
that. You need to do that shake he does. You know what I'm saying? That Jacob Fatu
The
shake.
boogeyman. The boogeyman.
Yeah, you
The
need to
boogeyman
do
shake.
that with him, man.
It's like a sole twerk.
Yeah, bro. You know, hey. I said it in one of our other podcasts, and I'm gonna throw it out to the universe again. Jacob Fatu, we love you, bro. Give us a shout out,
Yeah.
brother. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ya mean?
all right. So
You
we're all
picking,
over
Jojo?
Jacob Fatu's nuts over here. I don't know. I can't see how Ellie and I could be coming out of this one just because I actually think the Bloodline 2.0 will be behind Jacob Fatu. If anything, they're gonna probably insert themselves into this match, but I think they're gonna actually help him. I don't think there's gonna be any like swerve or turn here. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go Jacob Fatu specifically here. Comes out winning the U.S. title. You know, the guy's been on it this whole year since his debut. He's deserving of a win on a Mania. I would say so. So yeah, he's gonna probably come out the champion here, and then
His book's so
we'll see
strong.
what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I think not sure how many podcasts ago, but we did talk about this where you could just tell like this is gonna end up being a Jacob Fatu Solo Sikoa type of feud down the road. You know, since the time Solo lost to Ulafala, so you know they've been teasing it, and you know the seeds are being planted here, you know, along the way. So you know, to make it more interesting, why not have the U.S. title involved? So
That's what I'm
there you
saying.
go.
I'm glad that they. We knew that the feud was coming, right? Like you're saying, they're planting seeds, everything. I'm glad they interjected something else that Jacob could hold over Solo's head and be like, listen, I'm winning my matches. I got this title. Where's your Ulufala? You know what I mean? Like, we don't acknowledge you anymore, bro.
But don't you forget how you got that U.S. title. Who helped you? And who was right behind you at me?
Exactly, bro. This is gonna
Yeah,
be a good
Tama.
one.
Yeah.
Where
you been, Tama? Where you at, Oos?
It's Tama.
Oh my gosh, man! Next matchup. Ooh, this one here. Good old women's the WWE Women's Championship, right? So between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. So leading up to this, we've been seeing a lot of the back and forth between these two. You know, I'll be probably one of the first ones to admit that I've been very critical of a lot of the build behind this. But, you know, I'll give credit where credit's due. You know, the past few weeks, you know, after that whole sloppy exchange where, you know, apparently Ludwig slipped in Charlotte's DMs, apparently, you know, since that moment, it just felt like everything prior to that was, you know, pretty flat. And I think each kind of have to be accountable for some of the downfalls to their, you know, build up. But I would say like this past SmackDown, you know, or like since that whole episode, you know, it's actually starting to feel a little bit relevant again. Maybe not like that much, but you know, it's going in the right direction for that matter, right? So, yeah, who you guys got? The Queen or good old Tiffy time?
Go ahead, Jay. Who you got,
Okay,
Jay?
this is easy, man. This is easy, man. I the last podcast we talked about the build, right? How they actually mission accomplished. You got people interested in this build, right? They followed up with like a man. You know what was for round two? They didn't have a round two. They didn't even let him hit the mic. What Tiffy did was have a good match with Roxanne Perez, and both of those girls shine. Good job. So we know this is going to be a really good match. Charlotte Flair, one of the best workers. Tiffy Time, you know, there's a reason why WWE likes her. There's a reason. There's the look, the athleticism. She's got it. I think like she was the one in her first elimination chamber. She was the one who went and off the actual chamber and did a moonsault or whatever on the other girls. So she's great performer. So, but you disrespected Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair came up to management and said, "Hey, nah, dude, I ain't taking the L to this one." No, and the Queen reigns. So bow down to the Queen, Nick. It'll be a banger of a match, though.
It is going to be a banger of a match. You know what? I think that was a good call by WWE putting Roxanne against Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown, because it gave validity to Tiffany Stratton as far as, okay, yes, she can wrestle, because that was honestly for a match that's happening so close to WrestleMania, and we know they're not trying their hardest because they don't want to get hurt right before WrestleMania, right? But for what it was a good match. It really gave Tiffany Stratton the whole solidification that she's a legitimate wrestler, right? Maybe I don't want to say the Queen, but it depends on what the WWE is planning. If they want to drag it out with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, which I'll be honest, after what's been happening, I don't think WWE is going to want to do that. Just seeing how the build up to this match has been kind of a train wreck, and them two together is just, they're not jiving as far as hitting promos and everything. So I don't think they're going to want to extend this feud, which is why I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton.
Hater.
Not a hater, realist.
He says it very optimistically, though. I'm gonna say it's Tiffy time. Tiffy's gonna have her time at Mania. You know, not to say that Charlotte is not a great wrestler. Charlotte has nothing else to prove, in my
She
opinion.
doesn't. No, she doesn't.
Now, am I saying is she past her prime, or like is this it? No, not at all. I just feel like there is more value with this type of match between Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton, where she puts Tiffany over. And I think, you know, if anybody who is a young talent that is obviously going to be trusted by WWE for the foreseeable future, and they want them to make sure they have at least an ounce of credibility, and you know, and if anything, like a kind of like a rocket to the strapped to their back kind of thing. You put them up against a veteran like Charlotte Flair, who is, you know, she's gonna. I'll even say this to the importance of Charlotte Flair to the WWE. She will probably be the one to break her dad's record under their watch. That's just my opinion. But kind of not. I don't want to kind of drift away from this whole Mania match. I'm just saying that because that's how important Charlotte Flair plays into this whole matchup. She will make Tiffany a big player for the future of the WWE. You know, so that's just how I look at it. And, you know, like this is a moment where they can capitalize on that. Charlotte can always win another Mania. Like, I think this is just a moment that they need to have for Tiffany.
Yeah.
So
No, you know,
I'm going Tiffany Stratton.
I agree with you too on the importance of Charlotte, because look at when she lost the title to Rhea. Rhea was already on the map, right? She was already on the map, but she wasn't as big.
Yeah,
well, when I watched that match with her versus Charlotte, my first comment that came out of my mouth was, dude, Charlotte made Rhea look extremely good. I mean, Charlotte, I'm not going to say Charlotte carried the match, but Charlotte just made Rhea look really damn good. So this might be one of those instances where WWE is telling Charlotte, listen, we'll give you something in the future, no doubt. Because you're right, she's not past her prime yet. No way, not even close. Charlotte has a ton more in the tank. I think this is just one of those instances where WWE is like, listen, we're trying to build up another person so that we have more people that are valid on our roster. That people, if when you go up against somebody, it looks like a legitimate threat, right? Make her look good. Make her look good, and don't worry. You know who you are. We'll get you something down the road, but just as of right now, this is what we need for the product, and I think it's what's best for business. And I think, bro, she's gonna make Tiffany look good. She is.
Yeah, and this is the other thing I'll say about Charlotte. To her credit, and all of her accomplishments, in her career, she has the ability to kind of give anybody the rub. Not just young talent, but anybody that needs to get over. She can give them that rub. Like if you want to be put on the map, you want to make sure that your name is memorable. Put it up against Charlotte Flair. That's how much of an impact she has. You know what I mean? Like. You brought up the whole Rhea Ripley thing. That's probably the best example there, But then think about all the other names she's been up against,
Yep.
The Lynches, the Baileys, the Sashas, and Rousey for that matter. The names in professional wrestling. When it comes to the women's division, those are the names at the very top. At the end of the day, and she's also even had these fantasy matches with Trish Stratus for that matter. So again, there's so much of a reason why it's so important to, go up against somebody like Charlotte Flair, but at the same time, having Charlotte put you over means a big deal at the end.
So you guys talk about Charlotte Flair putting people over, right? She's just that big of a star. You can boo her, you can cheer her. She's the queen. WWE believes in this person. Hey, the WWE believes in this person. And you know what? That person did. She has a lot of say, and she can say, I'm not putting it over Tiffy Stratton. And you know what? Because she disrespected Charlotte Flair, it got a little bit personal. Maybe she can go up to Trips and say, hey, Trips.
She's over it. She's over it.
Yeah, I think Tripp's probably in the back. Listen,
she got to go beat her up a little bit this week, so
nah,
she got a little bit.
This is what happened. She said, Trips, she ain't going over me. He said, yeah, don't worry, just continue the program. All right, there you go. So predetermined, the queen will win. So you talk about her putting over people. She's not. Maybe she doesn't put over this person. Because remember, she did beat Rhea Ripley. She did beat Asuka.
And
those are two WrestleManias. Those are two WrestleManias she defeated the up and comers, which was Asuka and which was Rhea Ripley. She actually went down to NXT and thing. So Tiffy Stratton, I don't know. I don't think you're going over, girl.
Last thing I'll say about this subject: if you can put Ronda Rousey over, you're a good entertainer, bro. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. And the last match for this night one, which is the main event, is the triple threat between Seth Rollins, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk, to be guided to the ring with Paul Heyman. So this, guys, the names here, right? The three names in this matchup. Heavy hitters, true main eventers in their own right. Seth and Roman having main evented Mania multiple times. This is CM Punk's very first main event for WrestleMania. We got Paul Heyman inserted into this whole, story, having to juggle himself between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and, with the last episode of Raw, we kind of saw a little bit of a teaser here, whether or not we have a little affiliation between Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. So interesting enough, the in terms of like how this has culminated, we got a little bit of long term story of obviously the history between CM Punk and Paul Heyman being best friends. Obviously, Paul Heyman currently aligned with the tribal chief, and we obviously know their success to working together. And now we just saw Seth Rollins talking about you owing me a favor. Could this potentially lead into an alliance between Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman moving forward? Granted, the outcome of Seth winning this matchup. So there's a lot of interesting implications here, but at the same time, I think we've all, attest to the fact that these guys have masterfully built this feud leading into Mania, deserving a main event spot for that matter. So thoughts, guys? Who you guys picking and why?
Okay, I'm gonna go quick on this. I already made my pick last week, so I'll repeat it again. Seth goes over with the help of Drew McIntyre. I feel that's gonna be the match, and then that's gonna lead to Roman and CM Punk setting up their program where they're gonna go have a singles fight against each other. They'll team up. They'll do a tag team against Seth and Drew, and somehow CM Punk or Roman turns on each other during that tag match. Whatever it is, Seth Rollins either takes the pin or he comes out on top, right? So I'm just because it makes more sense for me to have Seth win, right? Um, Nobody's expecting it, so Seth. That's it. And one last thing about this is I've been enjoying the build for this. It started off like, it looks like they just hodgepodge stuff, but these guys they're awesome in the mic, and they're working with Paul Heyman, who knows how to tell a story. Just good build, great build. They deserve the main event.
Um, I'm gonna say Seth Rollins is gonna win. I originally went with CM Punk, but with everything that's been transpiring, that's why we have to watch for the stories, right? That's why we love the stories, is because things are constantly changing. And I think with everything that's transpired, and I think I talked about it with you, Jojo, when it was just me and you on that other podcast about how Bubba Ray was talking about, like who benefits the most from Paul Heyman being with at the moment, because CM Punk, we don't need a CM Punk and Paul Heyman duo. That they gain nothing out of that. We don't need that. Um, Roman Reigns is pretty established already. And I feel like Roman Reigns breaking away from Paul Heyman at this point, he'd be okay. I think he'd be totally fine. I think Paul Heyman coming in as his wise man was a blessing for Roman Reigns at the time, because Roman Reigns actually I think he needed it at the time. But in his current state, I think Roman Reigns splitting from Paul Heyman, I think he'd be okay. I think he'd be totally fine. I don't think he'd lose anything. But I'm not too convinced on Paul Heyman going with Seth Rollins. Like, I don't see Seth Rollins walking out with Paul Heyman. Will Paul Heyman play a part in Seth Rollins winning? Maybe. But I don't see Seth Rollins walking out with Paul Heyman, but I feel like Seth Rollins is going to go over.
Okay. Yeah, this match here, it does feel like a Seth Rollins match that he'll actually win, but I just feel like there's got to be something interesting that's going to happen, specifically with Paul Heyman here. I think he could actually leave with Seth, forming some sort of alliance, making Seth into a heel. I think it makes more sense where Paul Heyman actually finds himself in a predicament where Seth is saying, "Hey, you owe me that favor," kind of like favoring, whatever the situation is for Heyman to like screw over either the tribal chief or CM Punk for that matter during the actual match, right? So I can actually see that as being like that favor to Seth Rollins. Or maybe we just don't see any type of implications on Paul Heyman because we might actually see a really good match between all three where they actually just beat the shit out of each other, right? But I think nonetheless here, I think Seth Rollins does come out of this match. He just seems to be like that one factor where, or not factor, but just kind of that one individual here in this situation where it's like, so there's a lot more emphasis on CM Punk. There's a lot more emphasis on Tribal Chief here. Seth, not saying he's taking the backseat to the other two. It's just more like he just seems like the one that nobody's paying attention to enough that he's got something up his sleeve where he's going to actually be the winner of this match. That's just how I feel.
The cool thing with this is the build has been so good that we're just gonna get our popcorn ready. We're just gonna watch. We're just gonna enjoy it, and
Yep.
we'll be surprised. I mean, we're picking for fun, right? And we're
Right.
analyzing for fun,
Right.
but like we don't know what's gonna happen, and that's the cool part about it is what like we're watching. And by the way, for the people watching, JoJo's gonna be there. He's gonna hopefully he has some video footage for us and get the
I'm
pop of the
sure damn
crowd.
well.
Yeah, so
I'm looking
it's
forward to that.
Definitely
yeah,
will.
it's just really like the storytelling on this because three professionals have been working the mic really well. We don't know what's gonna happen, man, and we're eager. We want to know. We got our popcorn ready, right? Get me some 3D glasses and all them things, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I'm looking forward to this main event.
Yeah, this should be a fun one. Definitely main event worthy, and I would say I'm glad they're closing out one of the nights for that matter. So that being night one. But nonetheless, that is the end of this episode. So for everybody out there, our followers, subscribers, continue to keep watching. Please hit the like, subscribe button, and comment, and continue to follow us on all our social media platforms. We'll definitely see you guys all again. Thank you for joining us. And
Wait,
yeah.
Julia, just want to say that before the show.
Cut the feed.